Have you ever felt like you're just shouting your wishes into the void, hoping something sticks? Well, today we're diving into a manual for manifesting your dream life. And the core idea is pretty radical. Maybe the problem isn't your wish, but the person who's doing the wishing.
It's a super frustrating feeling, isn't it? You do the vision boards, you set the intentions, but your actual reality just doesn't seem to get the memo. According to this manual, that's because we've got it all backwards. We're trying to change the reflection in the mirror without ever looking at ourselves.
And this is the absolute core of everything we're about to talk about. Get this and you get the whole thing. Your life on the outside is just a direct reflection of your world on the inside. The universe isn't some cosmic catalog you order from, it's a mirror, and it can only show you what you already are. Okay, so if our reality is just a big mirror, what exactly is it reflecting? To really get this, we have to understand what it's paying attention to, because it's not just some random thought you had this morning. It's deeper than that. So let's be really clear here. Manifestation isn't some woo-woo magic spell. It's framed as a natural process, almost like a law of physics. What you experience in life is the unavoidable natural results of two things: your dominant energy and your core identity. In other words, whatever you assume to be true about yourself, well, that's what becomes true for you. Think of these four things as the literal blueprint for your life: your consistent thoughts, your dominant emotions, how you see yourself, and the beliefs you hold deep down. That's the instruction manual reality is reading from 24/7. So if you want to change the building, you have to change the blueprint first. And that brings us to the most powerful and maybe the most mind-bending part of this entire idea. We're always told to do different things to get different results. This manual says, nope, that's the slow way. The real power move is to choose a new identity first. This is the secret hack right here. The energy of wanting something actually pushes it away because it comes from a place of lack. It's a signal that says, I don't have this. But being the person who already has it, that's a completely different signal. You don't attract from a place of wanting, you attract from a state of being. This chart just lays it out so clearly. Look at the wanting column. It's all based on fear and ego. It feels like forcing, like you're trying to swim upstream. It's totally exhausting. But then look at becoming. That's about clarity, purpose, alignment. It feels natural. It's less about fighting the current and more about just being the boat. So, how do you actually do this? It's a four-step process. First, get crystal clear on who that future you is. Then, you start thinking their thoughts, feeling their feelings, and acting from their point of view, right now. You're basically rehearsing your future so intensely that it becomes your present reality. Okay, so you've decided who you're going to be. Fantastic. But just making a decision isn't enough. Now we have to talk about energy. You know, it's kind of like a radio. You can't listen to your favorite station if you're tuned to a bunch of static. It's time to tune your emotional dial. This is so important. Your feelings aren't just these passive things that happen to you. They are active signals. They're broadcasting your state of being out to the universe, and that signal tells reality if you're a vibrational match for what you want or a match for the lack of what you want. And here are the two main channels we can broadcast on. On the left, you've got the low-frequency stuff: fear, doubt, desperation. Think of this as pure static. It just blocks the signal. But on the right, joy, gratitude, confidence, trust. That's the crystal clear high-frequency channel. That's the receiving station. And where does all that static come from? Well, usually it's our old limiting beliefs. You know, the "it's too hard" or "I'm just not lucky" stories. The thing is, you can't just fight an old belief. You have to install a new one over it. And the formula is simple but powerful. Take a new belief, repeat it, and combine it with an elevated emotion. That's how you rewrite the code. So this brings us to the actual day-to-day work. It's one thing to understand all this, but it's another thing to live it. So how do we actively practice being this future person until it just becomes who we are? This right here is your superpower. Your subconscious mind, the part that runs the show, literally cannot tell the difference between a real experience and one that you vividly imagine with feeling. When you do that, you're building the neural pathways for your new reality before it even shows up. And here's a really cool technique from the book to do just that. It's called the quantum jump. You close your eyes, you picture a door to your ideal reality. On the other side is that future you.
You see them, feel them, and then you step through and merge. The whole point is to feel the shift in your body, to soak up their confidence, their joy, their knowing that it's all done. And that rehearsal continues all day long with the voice inside your head. Your inner dialogue, the stories you tell yourself moment to moment, that is constantly shaping your identity. Your self-talk has to match the self you are becoming. So you've shifted your identity, you've tuned your emotions, and you've been rehearsing in your mind. All of that inner work leads to this final, absolutely essential step, embodiment. This is where the internal changes start showing up on the outside. Embodiment just means living from the end. Now, this isn't about faking it till you make it. It's about a genuine internal shift that makes you naturally act in new ways. Your habits change, your decisions change because you've changed. And here is a beautifully simple, practical way to do this. A few times during your day, just pause and ask yourself this one question. Would that version of me be scrolling anxiously? Or would they be taking a confident action? Would they be complaining or would they be feeling grateful? And then you just do that.
A quick but crucial point here on letting go. This doesn't mean you give up on your desire. Not at all. It means you release the desperate, needy energy around it. It's about moving into a state of trust. You trust that because you've become that person, the reflection has to catch up.
And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? It's the ultimate summary of this whole way of thinking. You don't chase things down. You become the person who has them, and then they come to you. So when you boil it all down, the process is actually incredibly logical. It all starts with your identity. Choosing that identity generates the matching emotion. Feeling that emotion consistently installs the new belief. And that new belief, by the law of the mirror, has no other choice but to create a new reality. So in the end, we're left with this one final powerful question. It shifts the focus from what do I want to get to who am I ready to become? Because the choice and all the power that comes with it is completely yours. So who will you decide to become today?